Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining in this session. Purpose of this session today is to provide a quick overview of SAP Fiori. I'm very sure all of you coming from SAP background, you must have heard and must be aware what SAP Fiori is. I would like to provide some additional perspective, additional information about SAP Fiori and how and why this user interface is critically important, and also discussing with you all why SAP is adopting to SAP Fiori. Because this adoption of SAP Fiori by SAP as a user interface to all its applications going forward is a big shift. It is a big shift in their mindset, in their approach to adopt to additional direction. In that context, A, what is SAP Fiori? B, why SAP is talking about a new interface? What are the business drivers? What are the regions? Some of them are linked to the overall movement of computing across the globe. And talking about why SAP Fiori is applicable to us. What are the business benefits and how do we adopt it? So these are some of the points which I will cover today with you. Before I get into SAP Fiori, I would like to formally welcome to my session and also thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Let me take a few minutes and a couple of minutes to briefly introduce myself. I started doing SAP in 1998, and since then, I've been doing SAP. I worked many years with 3 companies. I working with the Capgemini, I worked with Accenture, and I work with IBM. I was senior director with Accenture, I was senior director with Capgemini, and I was associate partner with IBM. I do not work for anyone anymore. And there are many companies where I did SAP implementation, deploy SAP solutions, most of them in North America and US. I did some work in India as well. So I have a lot of hands-on experience of deploying, implementing, configuring SAP. I'm a consultant. I do not work for anyone. I stopped. I have taken academics as my full-time work. I'm a professor with the Indiana University, Pennsylvania, as a part of the Pennsylvania University, where you have Wharton School and all that, where I teach. I'm also associated with the government of India, where I'm a chairman for IT panel for MSME development for IT and education. So some of this area, various other universities, they are not all, where I go and talk and teach. Some of the area in SAP, I worked in SDMM and all those different modules. Some of the industries I worked on. So that's briefly my background, and just to give it a perspective that who am I. Coming back to our presentation. World is changing. That is an important statement. World is changing. User experience is changing. Our ability to access various enterprise applications and others are changing. A lot of people nowadays access your web and access web, not using PCs or desktop, but they use iPads and iPhones and all that. Combined sale of tablets and iPhone in comparison to the PC and desktop is multi-time. That is the change in the world with the consumer behavior and user experience. What SAP wants to simplify and provide a common access to their enterprise applications, irrespective of device. Now, for example, if you wanted to access your SAP ECC or BI on iPhone or on iPad or on Android devices, it is relatively fairly complex. That's a challenge. Now, if I wanted to create a sales order or a purchase order, or pass on a journal entry or see my employee information on iPad or iPhone, it's complexer. So SAP has to align its applications to the newer devices which is being introduced, so they can simplify the user interface. And that is one of the critical important argument of using any of these ERP products and any of these this user interface. There's a whole idea about this Fiori is this. Design thinking. When we talk about design thinking, we must understand the business, we must understand the technology, and we must understand human value. All the three aspects. Technology, how is feasible? Business, what is the viability and the features? And the human values, what they want. In the design thinking, these are the three core aspects. And those lead to the innovation, where all human value and technology and business value meet together. Design thinking. When we're talking about Fiori, the important thing is the experience. The shift from features to experience. Now, SAP has understood and they wanted to align that it is not about how many number of features and capabilities we provide. It is about experience. That is critically important, experience. And experience across different devices. That is important. So we're not focusing on the software features, focusing on user interfaces, focusing on experience, and focusing on how different business people can access and experience a similar experience across devices. Shift from features to the business user experience. And another part is making that experience coherent across enterprise. So in enterprise, we have a finance, we have a human resource, we have CRM, procurement, sales, and others. So they have an ability to have a coherent experience. And also, they have an access to the relevant tasks and activities for that end user based upon what function that business user is associated with. Coherent experience across enterprise. Now, SAP's user experience strategy, I went to Sapphire this year, last month, and I tried to understand what are some of the major changes SAP is incorporating in their offerings to the world. A lot of changes, but probably one of the biggest change, probably one of the biggest aspect or difference which SAP is bringing to the table is adoption of this SAP Fiori going forward to all its new and existing applications. In a foreseeable future, your SAP GUI is gone, or most of the user interfaces would be phased out. SAP Fiori would be your user interface for all new applications and also for existing applications, for example, ECC 6.0 or any other application, new dimensional applications, TM, EWM, CRM, and others. And that is the only user interface which will exist going forward. Of course, it's not going to change tomorrow morning, but that is the SAP's direction. That is what will happen. So SAP Fiori user interface, some of the core features. We have a design, technology, and concept. Now, let me start with the technology part because most of us understand the technology the best. So UI, user interface, this is the new layer. The business logic remain constant. How do we create sales order? How do we create purchase order? How do we ask our AR? How do we create our customer invoicing? All those business logic remain constant. That does not change. User interface is a new addition to the existing business logic. Do not think that your backend tables and structure and all that will change. You're going to HANA, that's a different thing. But in a simple sense, SAP Fiori is a new layer of user interface on existing business logic. So business logic in the backend remains the same. Fiori is role-based. That is the key message. It's a role-based. So you can define different roles, and you can have providing the access on the basis of the roles which we have, sales manager, purchase manager, and account receivable clerk, and AR, AP, and others. So it's a role-based. Of course, it's responsive, simple, and other things. Delightful. Its design is pretty good. I will be planning to show you some of the screenshots. It's fairly visual. It's pretty informative, and it is fairly interactive. So they try to, from SAP perspective, I saw some of the demos, and if some of you wanted to see the demo, we can definitely show the demo of the Fiori as well. I'm not planning to show demo today, but Fiori demo is also available. So we can show you the demo of SAP Fiori too. So it's fairly visual design. It's fairly interactive design. And from SAP perspective, it's a fairly good design, which business users can fairly easily correlate it to and understand as well. The idea of unified user experience direction to all SAP software. That is the key message. All applications, all UI technologies will converge to SAP Fiori. So all applications, your ECC, your CRM, your BI, your SRM, your TM, your EWM, or all other different applications which is there in SAP toolkit, the SAP ecosystem, all of them will go to SAP Fiori. All because currently you have a different UI technologies too. So in fact, I had a fairly good dialogue myself with some of the product managers of UI in US. In Sapphire, I spent a lot of time talking with them, and I asked them some pointed questions myself, because currently SAP has a various UI already available. They have of course, SAP GUI, graphical user interface. We have a web client. We have several other. So I asked them, I said, what will happen to SAP GUI? What will happen to CRM web user interface? What will happen to PC UI? Some people use PC UI, which is people-centric user interface. Some people use web UI, which is a web user interface. So what will happen to all these different user interfaces? I asked them. And the answer was that over the period of time, all UI technologies will converge to SAP Fiori. That is the core message. So going forward, SAP Fiori will be the user interface for all applications. It is, at this moment, it's not even available to all of them. So don't take any mistake that Fiori is still a work in development. SAP is still developing a lot of features and adoption to different other applications. So it is not available to everything anyways, but over the period of time, it will be. Now this is the common architecture. So I have a SAP Fiori user interface. This is my SAP Fiori. That is how it is a single user interface. Behind the scene, we have all my applications, my ECC, my CRM, my SRM, my TM, my EWM, and others, and of course my BI. In the backend, if you wanted to use HANA, you can use HANA. Now, SAP Fiori is not a necessity that you have to have a HANA. If you have a HANA, good. If you don't have it, for Fiori, you don't need it. You have a simple ECC box, 6.0, enhancement package 7.0, you can enable with Fiori. With HANA though, they have additional features. Without HANA, those features are not available. Number of apps also are more on HANA than without HANA. But I do not want to give you the message, looking at this picture, that we have to have a HANA to use Fiori. That is not the case. You can use SAP Fiori without HANA as well. So, as I mentioned before, Fiori is role-based. So, these are some of the finance roles. There are HR roles, sales and marketing roles. You can have sales representatives, sales managers, and others. These are procurement roles. These are your engineering and R&D roles. These are your manufacturing. related to production. These are your supply chain roles. And we have asset management role. So these are various roles which are pre-delivered, which are there in the system, which we can use, which we can deploy. There are also user role across industries and across line of business. Whether it's retail, insurance, higher education, public sector, banking, oil and gas, then there are various across line of business. So there are certain industry line of business user roles as well. These are some of the SAP Fiori apps on any database today, any database. HANA has additional apps. So even if you're not using HANA, if you're using a simple Oracle RDBMS, you can have all these different functions. In finance, my spend, table expense, tabling. There's quite a few in sales and marketing. My account, my appointment, my contact, my lead, my notes, my opportunity, my task, my pipeline, create sales orders, customer invoice, my quotation, change sales order, track sales orders, track shipments. A lot of people are always looking to sales and marketing. There are quite a few in procurement as well. Approve purchase contract, approve purchase orders, approve purchase requisition, track purchase orders, approve supplier invoices, and in manufacturing, in which you have quality, production planning, and of course, always in HR, approving leave requests, approving timesheets, looking at my benefits, leave request, pay stubs, and others. There are approximately several dozen, and this list is not all inclusive, by the way, apps which is available on any database, Fiori apps, in classical simple ECC 6.0. This is Fiori Launchpad. So this is how your Fiori user interface will look like, the screen which you see on your right. So Fiori Launchpad is a role-based, personalized, real-time, contextual aggregation of different business applications and analytics. If you see here, this is a picture of Fiori Launchpad. It can run on multiple devices using responsive web design. It is deployable in multiple platforms. That is the benefit. It's deployable on different platforms, Windows and others and others and others. So this is your Fiori Launchpad. And this is customizable depending upon the role. Your sales role, or procurement role, and finance and HR role, and etc. So Fiori Launchpad, how it looks like. In the Fiori app types, they have been divided into 3 categories. So there are apps which carry out the transactions. So for example, create sales orders, track sales orders, approve purchase orders, and so on and so forth. So there are apps which is transactional in the nature, which is a bidirectional integration with back and forth with your ECC and other application in the background. They can run on any database. They can run on HANA. Then we have analytics. Analytics basically working with the BIBW. And it's not talking about the simple report. This is basically tracking of different KPIs. That works on HANA though. Then because it is analytic of the KPIs. Then we have a different fact sheets when we talk about contextual navigation between the different objects. Fact sheets is summarized form of information. For example, if you're looking into a customer history, okay? So apps is the three categories: transactional, analytics, and fact sheets. This is SAP Smart Business Cockpit. In that, you have a Fiori Launchpad in the front end. You have different apps and business logic in the back end. Talking about business value and customer service, customer successes using Fiori. Why we focus on user experience? Because user experience directly connected with the business value. First and foremost, we gain productivity. If you have a user interface which can work on different devices, which can work on different platforms, it automatically gain productivity. Because if you see that nowadays, your users are using multiple devices. It's not just the PCs and desktops as I discussed in the beginning. Therefore, having a user experience, having a UI which can work across the platform and across different devices increases your productivity. Increase user adoption, so user can go and get onto is very easy because it's not heavily SAP GUI and which is fairly static. Hopefully decreasing user errors and saving a lot of training costs. But gaining productivity is one of the very important aspects of having this business experience. What are the business benefits being achieved? Some of the examples, in fact, I met a lot of these companies myself. We did some analytics ourselves. Valor Food and Pacific Drilling, PPC Siemens and other companies, improved deliveries with SAP Fiori, increasing revenue and productivity, includes a decrease in recurring training because it is fairly intuitive. Implementation, 2 weeks. So it can be, standard Fiori actually can be deployed fairly quickly. And being able to increase productivity and usability is very, very important. Enhance responsiveness of the SAP Fiori and enable faster and more informed decisions because you have access anywhere, any device. So some of the success story, for example, in PPC Siemens in Johannesburg, South Africa, what benefits they have got? It's a milk product company, 3,000 employees, revenue more than 7 billion website. What are their objectives, resolutions, and benefits? Simple, user-friendly application, greater user productivity. That's a very important argument. Greater user productivity with the ability to work on the go. And it is adopted fairly quickly. It's a matter of a few weeks. With the use of SAP Fiori, we can innovate and drive efficient internal processes to simplify the user experience. IT head. Another example, a company in Lugano, Switzerland, CSAIL, over 200 employees. They're not very large employees, right? Companies, by the way. What are the objective, resolution, benefits? Simpler, faster business activity using mobile devices. Fully available system that run efficiently without delays. Apps are effective, enabling request approval process. We can do that. Reliability, speed, and simplicity. All the three. Let's talk about SAP User Adoption Service Kits for SAP Fiori. Rapid deployment for user experience solutions. So SAP Fiori applications, there's infrastructure, RDS, SAP user interface design, mobile platform. And these are different user experience solutions. Talking about user adoption service kits for Fiori and screen personalizations. So adoption service kits, SAP makes it easy to plan and install and further expand SAP Fiori. So you can install certain app and it is extendable. You can decide to add on additional applications as we go. And it gives an instant boost to the productivity of your organization because you're enabling a lot of other parameters which directly impact productivity of a corporation. So that is some of the very important parameters. Some of the very, very important parameters. Deploy the foundation to get up and running quickly. You implement the app and screens which you need now, and you can easily add more as you need in the future. You don't need to deploy thousands of them or hundreds of them. Deploy the ones you need first. And then let employees have an experience. Let those employees be your internal speakers because they are intuitive, and they can utilize Fiori better. This is a SAP Fiori user interface service kit. So in that, we have a defined roadmap you can do for the SAP Fiori screen personas. Then we have launch service tickets. You can bring the first your Fiori apps, screen personas, screen flows in the first access. And then you can deploy additional SAP Fiori applications. So you define your roadmap, you deploy your foundation application, the one you need the most, You go live with the first apps, define your screen personas, flows as you need for your operation, and then you deploy additional SAP Fiori apps as we go. That is adoption for the Fiori going forward. SAP Fiori available in the cloud edition. So we also have a free demo cloud edition that can be used for Fiori Experience or Fiori App, and demo data is available so people can see. In fact, we have a demo data of our own in Kavi where people can have some plant and feel of it, how it look like, and if you guys want, we can show you to give it a little bit of a quick video. So in terms of adoption journey, you experience, adopt, prototype, and go live. We have a SAP HANA platform available on the cloud, which is mostly with Play, but I know that most of people don't have HANA, so I'm not sure how much that the relevant for you is. But the bottom line is, as you wanted to see, it can be shown. Okay. Learn more. Ultimately, in adoption journey, I will like you guys to make a note of this URL if you want, http://fiori.sapjourneymindmap.com. It's a lot of information available there, 5 steps. Explore, understand, identify what you need. Try. Do a proof of concept. And once the proof of concept is fine, deploy, experience. 5 simple steps to get a great Fiori user interface value for your corporation. And a lot of information is in fact available for free. This is the URL. If you want to see a system, some of the demo, we can arrange. Okay. These are some additional product information and resources which are available to you, and you can go and find out. Now, a couple of things. SAP Fiori is for free. You must be on ECC 6.0 and enhancement package 7. And if you're there, you get the Fiori. And in a few week time frame, you can get a good proof of concept for your company to start understanding and start deploying this system. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking with you again and again. Thank you very much. And I can give, I think some of you might have my phone number, email address, and all that. I will give you my email address, which is dilip@careerconsulting.com. I will give my phone number, 973-885-7245. This is US number, so make a note of that. So, but you can use WhatsApp if you want. I use WhatsApp a lot, so if you want to talk to me on this number, you can use WhatsApp. And you can email me if you have any questions, etc. Okay. Thank you very much. Is EC 6.0 with the EHP 7 enough for experienced Fiori? Yes, that's enough, Anil. There are certain, we need to see your basis and layers and all that, which we can ask our technical team to look at it, to review it. From technical perspective, EC 6.0, enhancement package 7 are the other required. You can do it enhancement package before too, but then there is a work. So it's good to have enhancement package 7.0 on ECC 6.0 platform. Okay. I would like to thank you guys. Do we need a network client or gateway? Yes. You will need a gateway. I would like to thank you guys. And thank you very much. It was wonderful talking with you. I look forward to talking with you again. If you have any questions, this is my email address. You're welcome to email it to me. You can, send a message on this number. This is my WhatsApp number. And we can do demo also. As I mentioned, if some of you want to have a demo version, we can do demo version as well. Okay. Thank you all. Have a nice evening, and I appreciate for your time coming into this session. Thank you so much.